So today we will be reviewing a short film. So let's take a closer look into Pasport Ekspres by Rewan Ishak. Pasport Ekspres was released on 15th October 2012. It was a part of Azraei My Hometown Short Film Project in conjunction with the 55th Merdeka Day celebration, which includes 14 young directors from 14 different states across Malaysia. Each states have their own short film from different directors showing off different places in their states, and so the movie Pasport Ekspres was shot at Rewan Ishak's own hometown in Perlis. A little backstory on the director Rewan Ishak. Rewan Ishak is a director known for multiple projects such as music video, television commercial, and shorts. He is also a writer for a full-length movie called Kill. He also worked as an editor for a movie called Nova, or mostly recognized by the original title Terbaik Dari Langit. Moving on to its synopsis. Pasport Ekspres is a story about three restless souls who find a profound meaning of life in the secluded scenery views of Perlis. The short film Pasport Ekspres takes the audiences to an unfamiliar place, backlogging through a more rural part of Malaysia, Perlis. While following a protagonist who was taking a short trip to get away from the stress of living in Kuala Lumpur, on his way back, he's met and befriended his cabin partner with whom he remained friends until a situation forced them to disembark together. While making plans, they ran into an old friend with whom they bonded over their dissatisfaction with their own personal lives. This short film has only about 3 major characters. Pasport Ekspres illuminates their journey together over a short time frame, primarily allowing us to connect with the characters through their heartfelt and enduring life. In this film, each character receives a brief monologue about their personality during the introduction. Ali is a daydreamer. He frequently feels empty throughout his life. He can think about something and imagine things happening in his head, leaving the outer shell of himself empty. He intended to return to his hometown to escape the buzzing and busy life in the capital of Kuala Lumpur, but he did not stay because he is estranged from his childhood home. He mentioned several times that he wants to make films, and he even escaped from the first day of Hari Raya Aidilfitri to watch Layar Lara, a Malay film made by local filmmaker Shuaimi Baba. This demonstrates how Ali is disconnected from his surroundings, someone who requires inspiration and stimulation to keep going. We could argue that he's also burnt out and wishes to escape his reality in order to recall his childhood and passion. Another character named Umar Ghazi stands in stark contrast to Ali. He is an outgoing and social person, most likely an extroverted person, whereas Ali, the main character, is an introverted person.
Oh, by the way, Ghazi, Ali.
Ghazi enjoys traveling, which he discovers after watching the film Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark as a child. As he grew older, he discovered a new passion, which is collecting vintage items. Ghazi is a bit wild, as evidenced by his opening a pack of cigarettes in the train compartment, which is a non-smoking zone. Another example is when Ghazi lost his passport and became agitated. Ali, who was in the same compartment, was able to calm him down.
Pasport aku hilang.
Macam mana boleh hilang? Kau dah cari betul-betul?
Aku tak dalam poket ni, dalam poket jaket aku, tapi sekarang ni tak ada.
Mana tahu kau salah letak ke?
Tak, aku tahu memang aku keluar rumah aku letak dalam poket ni.
Ghazi was supposed to stop at Padang Besar and then enter Thailand from there, but because he lost his passport, he was forced to stop at Arau before returning to Kuala Lumpur to get his passport back. Ghazi is clearly frustrated, but he has made a connection with Ali. We can see throughout the film that he appreciates sentimental things, and at one point he even sings a song by a local pop artist Ahmad Jaid's called Hidup Bukan Untuk Derita, the title of which reflects on the meaning of the song.
Jangan lupa lagu Ahmad Jais. Hidup bukan untuk derita.
On to the final character, Cikgu Roslan. Cikgu Roslan is an intriguing character who discovers nostalgia in Bahasa Melayu. Cikgu Roslan was born in Kuala Lumpur but finds it difficult to live there due to the modernization, globalization and the fact that people in Kuala Lumpur tend to speak a foreign language, which is English.
Dia pun kat sini semua orang masih cakap bahasa kebangsaan.
He believes that the effect of colonization are more deeply ingrained. He discusses how, as a result of being colonized by a foreign power, people lose sight of their own identity. That is why he wants to be a teacher of Bahasa Melayu. It is his calling and also his heartfelt desire to appreciate Malay identity.
Biasalah. Negara bekas jajahan orang putih.
He finds escapism and pleasure in doing so in Perlis, which, unlike Kuala Lumpur, still adheres to the Malay identity. In this film, he quoted Usman Awang's poem Jiwa Hamba. This example shows that he needs assurance and finds it comforting to live a somewhat humble life. He finds his life fulfilling and his lifelong dream to become a Bahasa Melayu teacher fulfilling.
Throughout the films, there were many references that were made by the creator and the writer Rewan Ishak. And there's this one reference that was quoted by Cikgu Roslan, which I would like to talk about. The reference is the poem by Usman Awang, which is called Jiwa Hamba. The poem goes like this. Termenung seketika sunyi sejenak, kosong di jiwa tiada penghuni. Hidup terasa diperbudak-budak, hanya suara melambung tinggi. Berpusing roda beralihlah masa, pelbagai neka hidup di bumi. Selagi hidup berjiwa hamba, pasti tetap terjajah abadi. Kalau ingin merdeka, tiada tercapai hanya berkata, ke muka maju sekata, maju kita melemparkan jauh jiwa hamba. Ingatkan kembali kata sakti, dari bahang kesedaran berapi. Di atas robohan kota Melaka, kita dirikan jiwa merdeka. So this poem was written by Usman Awang back in 1949. Back then, Malaysia still haven't received our independence from the British, and there were talks about it, about being a free nation, but there was some side that opposed this idea and said we are not ready for independence, and they were conspiring with the British. But for my own interpretation of this poem, it doesn't have to be a whole nation exclusively. It could mean as an individual or a person. So when they will talk about the kosong di jiwa tiada penghuni, this could mean that people who has lost themselves, lost their way, lost their identity. And the second stanza could personally mean that there's always gonna be a problem, there's always gonna be a setbacks, there's always gonna be a doubts from time to time. And a person can fall just because of that. And if you want to be free from all of this, you have to recollect yourself and grow your conscience and get rid of them. And we must also look back to our problems and see what the problems have done to us, what the negativity or the doubt has caused you. I think that's why the writer choose to put this poet into the films. Now let's talk about the cinematography. For me, I kind of like it, especially when they, I guess they reference it or inspired a few shots from Wes Anderson, where they have these tight spaces on the train, and they decide to take a tight shot and some quick edits and the close-up camera. For me, because the first half of the movie tell us that the characters are stressed out or burned out, I think, and this tight shot and the dark background, the color coding really tells the story. But for me, for the second half of the movie, which when they have arrived in Perlis, I don't agree with the thin or orange color mode, because the orange kind of give some suspense or anger. Framing on the first half of the movie, it was mostly tight, but then on the second half of the film, you can see that the framing, the shots were mostly long shots of the landscape or them as a trio, as a friend, the three person, and there's this kind of wide usage of space that they left empty. So that could mean that the characters are finally free, or they don't feel stuck anymore. Throughout the films, there were many instances where the theme of escapism is being used, because for instance, for Ghazi, collecting vintage item is kind of a escapism on itself, because you are delving or deep dive in what this old item used to be or used to mean to someone. You are not with your current thoughts. And for Cikgu Roslan, this could mean he escaped from Kuala Lumpur, which has all this modernization, and there are so many people who speaks English instead of Bahasa Melayu and wouldn't even know who Usman Nawang is, which is Cikgu Roslan's favorite poem. And he feels like he needs to escape to Perlis to achieve his dream to become a Cikgu Bahasa Melayu, to a rural area where the modernization is not as fast as in Kuala Lumpur. When you are in the same place for every single day, you are prone to be stressed out or burnt out. So being able to take a short break or a pause and do something else, do something that you want, and on doing that, you can also have the journey filled with emotions or meaning, just like this movie where Ali was supposed to just go back to his hometown, but he never thought he would see Ghazi and Cikgu Roslan, and they would bond together over a short period of time, and being able to talk about their emotions and just escape the grueling reality that we currently live in. So thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.